Hey there, C4. Good to see you, man. Getting it set up. Trying to get my music so I can start playing it here, but it doesn't quite do. And I'm trying to get a camera set up. So, hey, Snakebite, hold on here. And trying to get everything all set up. Get back to my original settings. I don't know what the hell happened to my original settings, but I'm good. Good to see you too, C4. Snakebite, thank you for sure for coming. Thank you, thank you. I'm going to turn my camera on here in a minute. We're getting all set up here. Hey, Aztec Gold, good to see you, brother. Just got back from flying my drone. That's good. That's good. Hey, Beto, good to see you, brother. Thank you for coming. How you doing, Beto? Anybody want to come up? I don't know if Nickel's going to be here tonight, but if not, that's okay. We'll be all right. Good to see you, Gold. Good to see you, C4. Snakebite, good to see you. You know, Beto, I'm going to give you a rundown. I still have not gotten shipment of my 100 MS70 Star Privy Mark shipped yet. And so if I don't get a good answer from them Monday, I'm canceled. They've had my money for 2.5 months since 1st of October. And so I'm kind of like, all right, let's go. Hey, Joey, thank you. Oh, I'm okay. No problem. Okay, thank you, Beto. I'm getting kind of, I mean, they've had my money for quite some time, and I have not had anything going on with it. So it's kind of sad, but that's what's going on. So it is what it is. I'm sitting there having me a cocktail tonight. Yeah, they do take time, especially when it comes to mint. The mint is really, really slowing down. Oh boy, isn't that the truth? I'm having to ask certain people are in my stream if they've gotten their letters I've mailed out. Some of them are not making it through the mail system. I don't know if they're stealing them or what, but you know. Hey, Barbara, good to see you. Thank you for coming. You gotta come up. Hey, Tony. They're nuking something. Yep, exactly. Exactly. How was y'all's week this week? Were y'all working a lot this week? Oh, let's get that camera switched around there. I forgot to do it again. Let me see if I can get that camera switched around without much trouble. Okay. Camera. Doggone it. That means I have got to go back to the very. Oh, I forgot. I'm not gonna close this down because I'd have to shut this thing all down and go back and change some settings, and I don't know why it's like that, but it's all good. It's all good. At least you'll be able to see some of the coins that I've gotten out of circulation. There we go. So how you doing, Barbara? You staying busy? You're feeding your cat? Well, Barb, you know what? I made the mistake. Well, I guess not. I like cats. There was a cat I started feeding around here. It was a feral cat. And I started making friends with it, and I started feeding her. Well, oh, sorry to hear that, Steve. Oh, that's horrible. That's like tough to deal with. My heart goes out to you, Steve. And so anyway, I started feeding this cat. Well, this mama kitty, and I got to the point where I could actually start petting her and stuff like that. Well, in the meantime, she's had 2 litters of kittens. The first time she had, I think she had 3 or 4 kittens. And so when I started feeding the mama kitty, the babies started coming over and hanging out. So, and they started feeding. And so I had about 5 kitties. So what happens again, about 6 weeks ago, maybe 8 weeks ago, hey, Tony, Joey, thank you for coming. She had another litter. She had 5 cats this time. So now I'm feeding 9 cats. Now 9 adult cats. Hey, Tom, how you doing? Thank you for coming. I forgot to change my camera over, and which is sad, but I'll have to shut this thing down, and I'm not going to shut it down. I'm going to make a note myself, and that way I can get that, so I'll have it up on me. Snake bite, you know what? That's what I was doing, feeding. Now I'm feeding 9 cats now. And guess how much food? Hey, what's going on there, Nickel? What's going on there, brother? Let me give you a link. There you go. So now I'm feeding 9 cats. So how much? Yeah, 9 cats. Yeah, Sal, I've got 9 cats. So, yeah, I've been feeding them. And does anybody have an idea how much cat food I go through a week feeding 9 cats? Any guesses? Good to see you, Sal. Thank you for coming. There's a link if you want to come up. I forgot to reset my camera, so I won't be on here tonight. I did the same thing last week, and I forgot to do it. So, Rocky is a cat. Yeah, that's right. I'm the cat lady, all right. You know, that's a pretty good guess, Sal. I'm going through 16 pounds a week. Joey, look at 40 pounds. Yeah. Barbara, I am. I really like the cats. It's really they're a lot of fun, and I really like making friends with them. You know what I mean? It's fun to make friends. So they're a lot of fun, and I really like making friends with them. You know what I mean? It's fun to make friends. So they're a lot of fun. And I really like making friends with them. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to. Bengals by 7, Mr. Nickel. You're gonna have to turn down your YouTube, brother. There we go. Oh, there he goes. How you doing, Sal?
Hey, how you doing there, Rocky?
I'm doing pretty good. I got, like I was telling, I got 9 cats I'm feeding, and they're
Yeah,
going through about 16 pounds a week.
that is
Hey,
something else.
yeah,
Wow.
it is. It
But
really is. Hey, Wendy.
it's very nice of you to take care of them, though. I tell you, that's something.
Well, they were hanging around, and I'm like, man, they were looking pretty scrawny. I'm like, man, I can't, I like cats, and for them to,
Yeah,
not have food and stuff like that. So I started feeding them, and then it's just keeping coming. Now it's so funny. The neighbor cats come over here and start eating. Dean, I don't let them in the house. They have to stay outside. I bought
there you
them.
go.
I bought them a house today. I'll take a picture of it for my front porch. I got a huge front porch. And hey, Bellows, thanks for coming. Thank you much. Uh, I bought a little house for them to sleep inside out there because it's getting cold and wet. And this thing's got I'll have to set it up. I got it today, so I will get another one. Let's add to say, there we go. I tell you what, Bengals by 7, that was just brutal. They shouldn't have won.
Yeah. That's what happens.
Yeah.
They are, every game they're in, it's a close one. Either they win, barely win, or they barely lose.
Yep, exactly. Cowboys just they just let that one get by. Rocky is the JM of cats. Yes, Tony, I am. I just
That's
don't
right.
like to walk them.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, so these drones, I tell you what, it's been a crazy thing. What's going on with these drones? It's been nuts, and they're every single day. Apparently, I heard that they're going to that somebody had posted something on X. Of course, you can't believe everything you read on the internet, but
Right.
they said that it was a Space Force operation, and they're going to be running from November the 15th all the way through Christmas Eve, and after that, there's going to be a big thing that's going to be happening. Apparently, this is an exercise they're doing to prepare for it, but who knows if that's true or not. But
well, I really didn't know. I heard so many strange stories that there's a Iran mothership off there letting these drones out coming into the,
yeah, I don't
and I
believe
thought,
that. I
I
don't
don't
believe that
either.
yeah.
But I did hear a credible story today that I thought, you know what, from what I was told, that the U.S. military is running these drones up and down the East Coast, and they are sniffing for like dirty bombs, the radiation they're looking for.
Okay.
And that's what I was told. That's why you're seeing them all on the East Coast. And there's a few on the West Coast, but not like it is over at Baltimore and New York. I heard there's a bunch of them in New York right now.
Okay. Wow. So they're sniffing for dirty bombs and radioactive material. It sounds like.
Yep, that's
Wow.
what I was told today, and I thought, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're American for the simple reason is a fighter could easily shoot these down. And
Right.
And they what we've heard, they said nothing to worry about. There's no problem. So that tells me that they know exactly what they are and
Exactly. And they're doing it, and they're behind it. Exactly. Because you think about it, if it's not us doing it, then what kind of message does it send around the world if we say we don't know what they are or who they are? It means we're vulnerable, and anybody can just do it, just fly it. And the fact that they're seeing literally hundreds of them a night, this is different than the spy balloon thing. The spy balloon thing was an embarrassment, but this is something very different. These things are flying low; people can see them, and they're flying at a level where people are actually shooting at them now. And so it's clear that the government knows, and it is military, and I think probably is maybe some organization that is like you. That makes perfect sense that they're using them as a test to sniff out. That makes perfect sense. That makes more sense than even the Space Force thing. But
Yep.
they could be using that branch of the military to do it, to launch these things. I don't know, but and maybe it's something where they not only are pointing down but also pointing up as well, sensing something that could come from an impending attack that can be able to detect that way. I don't know. But apparently, people that have commercial drones have not been able to, not commercial, well, private commercial or they've not been able to launch in the area around where these things are. And it could be that they have put what are called NOTAMs. That's a notice to airmen, and
Yep.
that prevents you from, they'll restrict the airspace so that you can't observe them, and so they don't launch in those areas. So some of them are within some of the restricted airspaces are already marked based off the aeronautical charts. But this
Yeah.
is something that likely is probably taking a step further, where wherever the president is, you can't launch. So, like for instance, let's say there's a permanent no-fly zone around Washington, D.C., but there's also wherever the president is. If he's in Wilmington, Delaware, well, there's a circle where you don't fly in that area, and so that's probably what's happening, is that they're temporary NOTAMs.
And all those that size have to be registered. So if if it was private Americans, they would know who it was because they got to be registered.
Yep. 0.55 pounds and up, and you have to register it. That's right.
Yeah, and some of those drones I heard were like 6 feet, wingspan and stuff like that.
Size of a small car up to the size of an SUV.
Exactly.
I figure a Yugo, maybe the size of a Yugo.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yep.
Exactly. Well,
so they know exactly, but they just aren't telling us. But it's still rather an embarrassment because, they could easily have put out an announcement and said that we are conducting an operation, test operations. Just do not be alarmed. This is a military operation. There's what they call there are military operation routes that are actually in the skies where they train, but this is something completely different, and it would make sense for them to do this. But I think they probably are figuring it's better to be coy about it and than to scare people, because say, well, if you're sniffing out for radiation or testing the sensors for that type of thing in these areas, then that might alarm people even more. But the thing is why would you not test somewhere else that's not in a populated area and actually put radioactive material to see if it would detect it? In other words, is this an operation? Is this a test run, or is this actually real? And they're looking for radioactive material, or they're looking for dirty bomb materials. That there's a credible threat that something like that is here, so they're using them to do that. I don't know, but it's definitely government related. I would be willing to bet money it's government related.
I'm right with you on that, Sal.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking there, they don't want to scare people. If they put out a threat that they're out looking for dirty bombs,
yeah,
they, can you imagine the how many people on the West Coast, hey, water possibilities, what they would say, or what kind of a reaction it would get?
I don't think much. I don't think much, because look all the stuff that's going on, and look at gold. Instead of being 3,500, look where it's at. Of course, I think a lot of that's got to do with people putting their money in Bitcoin and cryptos, but still, people don't seem to react to panic anymore. I mean, it's like we've had so many crises. I think they just expect it.
Well, kind of numb to it in a way, but something like this, where that's a large enough area that I think it would incur probably a little bit more panic than you'd think. Look at the area. There are 6 states that these things are flying through now, and people see them and they're like, "Whoa! If they're up over my area, could it be somewhere near me?" I just don't know. And no one really knows. But I think it's in a large enough area where people actually see it, and if they actually announce it, that so I don't know how that would be interpreted.
Well, it must be something very small they're looking for if they're looking, because they got satellite. So apparently
Right.
the satellite can't give them a close enough look. So they'd have, that's why they have to be using it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it's just I've been kind of waiting for the what you would call a you know, what's a black swan?
Yeah,
Hey,
black swan
Gleason
event.
News, thank you for coming. You know, black swan event coming. You know.
Yeah.
And that's because it's getting closer. It's getting closer to Trump being sworn in, and it's yep, they do, Barbara. You know that this all this stuff is just a distraction. Now, you watch all these drones and stuff like this. Gleason knows, yeah. The you can definitely see a lot more people paying attention to stuff now than what they were 5 years ago. You know,
Yeah.
and it's people are starting to really wake up, and that's what this country needs.
Very true.
So, is the weather in your area up there, Sal? Has it been good, bad, or?
It's been yucky and cold. It's strange that it's cold in December. I don't get it. What's happening?
Global cooling.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just teasing. Yeah, no, it's cold. It's cold and yucky, but it is what it is. How is it where you're at?
It is cold and wet. Like last week, I worked in the cold. You know, if you're out in the cold 6-7 hours, it just drains your body.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so, because even though I got my wetsuit on and gloves and all that kind of stuff, the water will still go get down the back of your neck and go down underneath your clothes and stuff. It'll wear you out.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that's so tough.
It's not good. I'm not looking forward to going. You know, because I'll be there for Christmas and I'll be there for New Year's, because nobody wants to work those days, and it's I make really good coin on those days, so nice. I go ahead and go in. So
right, yeah.
Christmas is pretty slow, but New Year's Day is pretty doggone busy, and the day after New Year, from New Year's Day to the January 7th, is pretty busy.
Man,
so
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's been crazy. It has been.
Yeah, well, apparently, from what I understand, the 24th of December is when this will end. So we'll see if that actually is true, and if there's any kind of statement that's put out afterwards.
Yeah, drones. they have to let Santa Claus get to where he needs to get. So
that's right, exactly. What is that NORAD that tracks him? NORAD?
Yeah.
But the NORAD tracking is tracking Santa. Whatever, is he going to have a fleet of drones following him? I don't know. Instead of reindeer, he's got the drone deers.
Yeah, exactly.
And by the way, technically, well, I guess if they're flying autonomously, they're drones. But if a human is controlling them, well, there's no drones. Yeah, drones are automatic. UAVs are unmanned aerial vehicles,
right?
Which are controlled, and that there's a difference between the two. If these are autonomous and they're flying based off of a pre-programmed pattern or area, then they're drones.
Yeah, but they got an energy source. They'd have to come down and go back up. When you think
that could be all automated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that could be all automated, and then you get refueled or you put another battery in, and then it goes right back up again, and they can continue.
No, that's their solar.
Yeah, and but likely of course they're flying at night most of the time. You see them, and there's not very few videos where I've seen them during the day. And by the way, most of the videos out there too, they don't know what's real and what's not. You know, I've seen some that's like, oh man, look at this, a clear shot of them. It turns out it was a fake video.
Dean says they can be recharged by satellites. Now, I don't know how that works.
I don't know how that works either.
Recharged by satellites?
They have to be very high flying drones, I would suspect, in order to make that happen. But anyways.
Yeah, Barbara said they could be protecting us. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Is I think they are looking for something, dirty bombs, like I was told today, and so that's very true.
Well, one was near a military institution or an installation.
He got arrested. It was a Chinese guy flying over that base over there. I'm not sure which one it was, but he got arrested, I heard today.
Well, I don't think they're trying to protect us as much as they're probably trying to protect their assets. So there's something kind of a threat, and it's military based, and they think that they're going to be a strike on some type of military installation or something. So it's protecting them, I think, more than us. I mean, I think we get sacrificed. So,
I mean, it could be that, like I said earlier, if they're, from what you were saying, Rocky, if they're sniffing out for radioactive material as a test run, that could be a way to protect us from that material. If they're actively looking for it, which is possible that might be the case. If they're actively looking for radioactive material and then be able to detect it, and look through houses and everything like that. That's really what you'd have to do. You'd have to have some sensing technology to look through houses, or for a dirty bomb or any other kind of material. And if they're actively looking for it, then yes, that is to protect us. But I don't know if that's the case. We don't know. But obviously, there's multiple factors and motivations for that kind of thing. It would protect their assets as well as protect the public. And if they go hand in hand, there's nothing wrong with that. That's for sure. But the thing is, we just don't know. And the government, the fact that they're basically saying that, well, they pose no threat, but we don't know what they are. Well, how can you say they pose no threat if you don't know what they are? They know what they are.
That's exactly right, Sal.
And that's what's frustrating, is we're not getting answers. Hence why people are shooting at them, and they're having to say, "Don't shoot at the drones. Don't shoot at the drones." But and really, you shouldn't shoot at the drones, because those bullets have to land somewhere. And if you do make contact with a drone, if it's the size of a Yugo, that's not going to be pretty if it's in a populated area, if it falls.
Exactly.
Yeah, it might land on Barbara.
We don't want that.
Yeah.
I really think they're looking for dirty bombs, or looking for.
That would make the most sense. And in a sense, if they are actively looking for dirty bombs or radioactive material now, that's scary. And that would make sense why they're not telling us. Now, if they find the material between now and December 24th or whenever it's stopping, then they say, well, we found the material and this is what we had the drones for. Then they can make the announcement. But I don't know. It'll be very interesting to see how this plays out. The answers have got to come out sometime, I think, because they're too visible. There's too much of them. It's a major news story now. It's everybody's talking about it now, and so there's got to be answers sometime. I don't know when or how.
Yeah, if we knew everything, it's a good thing we don't know it. If we knew everything, probably none of us could sleep at night. All the stuff.
Right.
The people that's in our country, what their record is, what they do, the terrorists. There's terrorists in this country now, especially with the border wide open. We know they're here.
Right.
There we go. My internet went crazy on me. I was just like, what the hey? So I just refreshed. So I really think that that they are looking for something. But what worries me about the whole thing is, why would they be looking for radioactive material for a dirty bomb? Now, is Iran smuggling in, a submarine pop off somewhere and came in here and let out a team that brought in a dirty bomb to set off in a big city? Think about that. Because I heard today that they were over New York really heavy today. And I'm thinking, why? They've kind of moved out of Baltimore and in New Jersey. Now they're moving down to up to New York, wherever you want to call it. What's really going on here? And it would be good, because if the U.S. government is suspecting a dirty bomb to come in here, wouldn't it be making sense if they release the information to all Americans to watch for something out of unusual that would be, because with me working at the airport, I'm all the time looking for anything that's unusual, and it's just normal to look for that kind of stuff because they've had the last 2 years they have had security up briefs, and I'm going in next week for more security training, and so it tells me that they're expecting something,
Well, how about LA? How about LA? And that would be a target area. Of course, Washington D.C., LA, and New York would be the top three, I would think.
Maybe San Francisco, but yeah, you're right.
Any state that they think they could smuggle something in on it.
Places got a lot of shipping containers.
Yep, exactly.
City that's got a lot of that stuff. Yeah. Port of Baltimore is a big one, but yeah. So it's there's a lot of different things possibilities that could come into play, and of course we don't know. All we can do is speculate at this point. But what we do know is there's a lot of these things that are flying overhead that the government is being very evasive in answering questions, which means that they're involved with it. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and then they don't want you shooting at them. So, I mean, if I saw a drone at the airport, of course it'd get reported, but it's like we had a person climb the fence. Now, this is a funny story. They climbed the fence and they walked up past security and walked up to the gates. Now, there was 2 guys that challenged him up at the gates, and he ran off, and so that's when they called the police in. Well, before the police could get there, he stole a lav truck. Now, does anybody know what a lav truck is? Where it's a truck that you back up to an airplane and you dump sewage into it?
Oh, okay. Wow.
Okay. Well, he stole a brand new lav truck, and he goes and drives through the fence and steals this truck, and he drives north going to Vancouver. And the only reason he stopped is he ran out of gas, and he was on the side of the road.
Wow.
That sounds like your truck, Rocky.
It sure does, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh,
sure
man.
Does. It sure does. And, and I was just going to bring up some other information about what I'm dealing with on my credit. And I want everybody to watch your credit, Sal, Nickel, anything that you, for your house or anything like that. And Sal, I don't know if you were here, but my credit got hacked on TransUnion.
Wow.
And what they did is they changed my address of my house that I live in to New Mexico.
Oh, man.
So I had to, I got an alert. I have 2 different companies that monitors my credit. And one of the companies sent me an email. And so I started checking into it, and by damn, they did. So what I had to do is I had to call all 3 credit agencies and put a freeze on my credit.
Right.
Okay. Well, during the meantime of this, I called my mortgage company, and my mortgage company had somebody call in, or somehow they changed my actual real address on my mortgage company.
Oh.
So I had to go in there, and what I did is all 3 of the agencies, you can do a number. They can give you a number, so only you have that number. So when you go in to release your credit, because it's all frozen, I can give them this number and I can do what I need to do. Well, I had to do the same thing with my mortgage company, get it off. I had already done some certain passwords that only I would know what these passwords were to do that, to change it. And so it's all locked up on my house and everything like that. So, but
You use LifeLock?
actually, no, I use Credit Karma, and I use a credit through Chase Bank, and it's Chase Bank is free because I bank there, and so on that, and so and Chase is the one that alerted me on it, and then Credit Karma came in after Chase. But
that's scary stuff. Wow.
It really is, and so.
You know, if you didn't have bad luck, Rocky, you wouldn't have no luck at all.
Oh my God, this year's been just horrible, hadn't it? They get my truck stolen, and just
Man.
Yeah,
that's been tough. I'm sorry about that, Rocky. That's horrible.
Thank you, Sal. I appreciate that.
Well,
so anybody that you think so what I had to do and what I've been doing, they're messing with Rocky with they are, Beto. And what I did is I went into my bank personally and talked to them and set them down. I set up all my accounts, credit cards, everything is on a 2 system. So if you try and do something to my credit and do something, it's a 2 system, and so they do not
2-factor authentication, right? 2-factor authentication.
Yep. And so I've done that with everything on my credit, and that's good. Barbara, no, they have not straightened it out yet. TransUnion sent me a credit because they couldn't tell me over the phone who messed and changed my credit. So what they did is they sent me a credit report, and so when I get that credit report, I can call them and give them the numbers and everything like that, and I can have that address taken off of my credit report with TransUnion. And it wasn't just TransUnion; it was Equifax too, or not Equifax, but Equestrian, and they had changed it too. So whoever was doing this, I think they were trying to take my house.
Yeah, title theft maybe.
Yeah, Dean said after he last, because I brought this up last week because I want to make sure people are aware of this and what's going on. I've been told a couple of things. Do you remember when that 1.1 billion names, Social Security numbers were stolen from Florida, that company? Do you remember that, Sal?
I remember.
Equifax? Was it Equifax?
No, it wasn't Equifax. It was actually a company.
Or Experian, maybe.
Something like that, yeah. And so what happened is they got 1.1 billion names, numbers, all kinds of Social Security numbers and stuff like that. So I think this is part of it. But through this process, when it was stolen a few months back, this is kind of an interesting. I was told this by a couple of people that the government stole that information so they could actually check the voter rolls of all before the election happened. Is a lot of people. And so I thought that was kind of interesting that somebody would say something like, I don't know for sure, but I do know it caused me a bunch of problems.
Yeah, I can bet. But it's not your fault because I know you don't give nothing out.
I don't.
Right.
And so it's somebody got into your information through another source. So they're really responsible.
Right.
That's why I say tell people that even if you're unbanked, everybody has a digital footprint, even if they don't have a computer.
Right.
Everybody's got a, and there are some people that are actually unbanked, but they still have some information that's out there somewhere, somehow that's been garnered, that can be hacked or can be transferred. It's just scary, but that's the world we live in. Well, fellas, I got to head out of here, but thank you for having me on. And
You're welcome, Sal. Hey, be sure and keep an eye on your credit. It could happen to anybody,
Yeah, we'll do good advice. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I want them, because I can't tell you how many hours I have invested in trying to stop this from going. Going anywhere. So.
Right. Well, thank you. Good advice.
Hey, you're welcome. Y'all have a good evening. Have a great day, Sal, and I'll chat with you.
Sounds good. You take care. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
See ya. And that's why I say Bitcoin. Everybody thinks it's Bitcoin and cryptos. Oh, it's the most safest. They can get to that too. They can get into that. There's high schoolers that are good enough with computers and stuff. They could hack your Bitcoin and cryptos. So
yes, that's so true. And with what we're seeing now, and I can't get any positive answers out of this because I've been watching for this and it's been kept pretty quiet. I don't know if anybody here knows enough about computers, but does anybody know what a quantum computer is?
It was like a supercomputer where it's like
exactly. It's a supercomputer, and I have talked to a few people that are computer geeks, and the last time I talked to them is the actual hardware for the quantum computers is there. They just don't have the software for it. And that was the last. I've read Crawler saying that there's a guy on X that lost a wallet, 10 Bitcoin. That's a lot. So anyway, this quantum computers, the last time I had checked into it, they were still trying to write programs for quantum computers. Now, quantum computers are so fast that you cannot, if they ever get it, which they probably will get it, they're so fast that they will, whatever, what you have, it's going to get hacked because they're that fast and that good. So it's been, and that was quite a few years ago when I was looking into that. So it is a possibility that these quantum computers are already out there and working, but we don't know about it. But that's something to think about. No matter how good you do, to try and protect yourself, a quantum computer can just get you.
Yep. That's why I'm against all this digital, and I'm not an electronic digital guy. And these people now, they want the gadget that can control your locks on your doors, your heating and air, security system, everything. And I'm telling you, if someone gets that, they got a key to your home. They can just walk right in.
Exactly. And that's why.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Convenience. It's not worth what you're going through right now. So say no to convenience.
And that's what I do. I've never had my identity hacked like that before. It's the first time because I've been really, really careful with it. But to spend, I don't know, I probably got 10 hours in on the phone talking to each and every credit company and my everything that I had to do with credit online. And there's some other protections that I do that I'm not going to mention on public forums like this. But even though you do that kind of stuff, it's still you still have to be careful. And
yeah, I don't even like cell phones. I've got a flip, and I don't even like it. I will use the landline as long as I can until
I tried to get a landline, Nickel, and I'm having a hell of a time getting a landline. Nobody wants to give me a landline.
No, but no. I mean, because really the only ones I think that can set it up and actually get it to do it is AT&T. And then the other ones, the other providers can surface it once they get it up, but they don't put them up and in, I don't think. So it has to be AT&T, like the old telephone pole, and you got to
right.
And I'm telling you, they don't. I think mostly what AT&T does is hires out people that used to do that, and then they retired and they go, hey, we'll hire you back if you go do this, and probably the guy has to cover no telling how much range, probably multiple states. So it takes forever. If something goes on wrong with your landline, it takes a while to get them to fix it. And then the last guy here used to be, because the squirrels get into the box. When it rains, it gets wet. When it gets wet, I get static on it. Well, call AT&T, they come out to fix it, and when they's done, you couldn't tell a difference on it. So, and they don't want to put nothing into it. You know, they don't want any resources
because they know it's a dying breed. What's going on, and that's why I'm having such a hard time, because I used to have a hard line here, and I never had any problems with my phone. I didn't have to worry about anybody trying to hack it, or it was just a phone. And Beto saying nothing is safe anymore. That's true. Exactly.
I bet you not even the government taps in on landlines anymore.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they do.
You think they do? I don't think there's enough people with them to do it. So I think they probably did away with that department, believe it or not, because they probably said, well, they're even having guys to do that because nobody uses landlines anymore. Really, on this street, there's probably maybe me and one or two others that have them. That's it. I mean, there's nobody that has the things that has landline.
So the number I have for you, is that your landline?
No, I don't know which number. Oh no, that's my brother's cell phone. I don't have one. And he gave it to me. He gave it to me because my mom, I was watching her because of the dementia, and so that was for we make sure we get a hold of each other. So now that she's down there, I really don't even need that anymore. So if he says anything, I'm going to say go ahead and kill it, and I'll just use the landline. And matter of fact, most of the time, I don't even look on that for messages and stuff much. You'd be surprised how far behind I get. I go, oh, somebody messaged me on here. I usually just use the landline. So
right. And see, that's what I want to go back to a landline, because I feel that they are better and more secure than a cell phone.
Well, they are. Yeah, they are. I mean, the only way you can tap in on a landline is you got to be out there at the pole and put your little dooflinkies on each end and then listen in with that. You've seen the speaker, looks like a speaker phone that they put on, and it's got one for one ear, and then they can listen in that way. But that's about it.
Yeah,
or you have to hook something to it, and or you have to come inside and put it in the receiver, and that's how you had to. And that's spy stuff there. I mean, nobody does that stuff anymore.
Exactly. Who talks on a damn cell phone anymore? I mean, I don't say shit on a cell phone, because I know they're listening to it. Just like my conversation tonight, the satellites and stuff like that, they know exactly what we're talking about here right now as we have our stream right now.
Yeah, they have it. It's recorded, and then if they need to, they probably don't hear it directly, but they have it there on file. And so then if something happens and they need to, this guy's a nut, then they go back and listen to all of his calls to see what he's been saying. So
exactly.
So we're being recorded. They probably are not hearing it unless they have a reason to investigate us. And being that I am what I am and everything else, I'm probably on a list somewhere because they're saying this guy don't have this, he don't have that, he don't have a bank account. My gosh, this guy's got to be. It got to be something. He's got to be up to something. He would have more than the stuff he has. So they probably got a file on me, I figure.
Yep. Beto there is talking about satellite phones are better. Now, to me, satellite phones, whatever you can put in the air can be hacked. I mean, not that the satellite phones are not better, but I feel like anything that's in the air can be hacked. Where a landline is, they're not going to spend the time for a landline.
A smart TV too. I hear they can watch. I heard they can watch you on there if they want.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't use smart TVs either, so I don't have that, and I don't really use the cell phone. I don't carry it with me. So therefore, they can't track my movement because I never have it with me. The only time I will is when I have to have it to check a time and I'm supposed to meet somebody or something. But I don't. For the most part, I do not carry it around with me, and I just keep it plugged up all the time to the wall and keep it fully charged. That's what I do with it. So I don't even do that. So as far as they know, I'm here 24/7, 24 hours a day. I'm right here or in the kitchen or whatever, even though I'm not. But they think I am, I guess.
Well, see, that's why I want a landline, because Xfinity has phone. It comes on the cable coax. Clear Lake was talking about Xfinity. Yeah, that's what I have is Xfinity Clear Lake, just like tonight. And so I'm really careful with what I say or do or anything like that. And that's why I want to go back to a landline, because I don't think a landline is going to be that eavesdropped on that bad, because they have to actually physically get up there and do like what Nickel was saying, is actually take a phone and put the wires and stuff like that on a cell phone. I mean, a landline. So
Yeah, now they can track me through this computer. Yeah, that's the only thing that I have that they could probably spy on me through. But other than that, nothing else.
do you have a Faraday bag?
No, I don't need it. I don't need it because I don't use the cell phone much, so I don't really need it.
Well, I tell you, my cell phone. I mean, I use it at work, and so as I am going to work, I put my cell phone in a Faraday bag so I cannot be tracked, because Google tracks your movements every day. And so they if I put my phone in a Faraday bag, they have no clue where I'm at or what I'm doing.
And they'll turn that right over to the government too.
Yep, they do.
They don't even have to have a court order. They say, "Here you go, friend. You know, take care of us. We'll take care of you."
Yep, exactly. That's exactly right. That's very true. Well, you know what? It's let's see here. Now I want to ask a question. I was told that some of the prizes that I have mailed out have not been coming. Has anybody that has won a prize in the last 3 weeks or so, won and not received their prize?
I tell you this, I had a check. I sold some gold. I had a check coming. It never showed up. So they killed the check for me. I said, you better avoid that and give me another. And they're going to send it registered this time.
Good Lord.
So I don't know if someone would try to sign my name or not. I don't know, but they voided it. But from New York to here, it shouldn't be 8 days or 9 days. I can tell you that. So,
yeah. It's so, because I think what's going on is, now when I send a letter out with money in it, or with your winnings of $2 bills, or with the gold card, I wrap it up in tinfoil so it can't be x-rayed and you can't tell what's in it. So some of them I've noticed I've mailed some down to Beto down in his area, and they never showed, so I've had to resend him stuff, and it doesn't. I know what they're doing, so yeah, Beto's talking about, yeah, that's true. So what I was kind of wondering is, okay, Tony hasn't got his. That's been quite a while, Tony. I'll resend it, Tony. Anybody else that should have got a giveaway? Yeah, Barbara, it's getting bad. I really think they have a lot of people that are working for the post office because every letter, every package gets x-rayed through the postal service, and a lot of stuff is being stolen. And so that's why a lot of times they never get it. So I mailed one to Wendy. She was on here earlier, and I didn't know she never got it. So she emailed me, and so I resent it to her, and she finally got it. But I know damn good and well that the post office is actually taking a. Oh, Tom. Okay, Tom. All right. I'll make sure that you get them, because I don't know if the stuff comes or not, because I don't send it registered. I made, because I'm trying to save money, just mail it regular mail, because I can put a stamp on it, which is about 75 cents to mail it. But if I register, it's like $3.50 a letter. So I've been trying to save me a little money, but it looks like I might spend more money and just send it registered. So I'll make sure that you, Tony, that you get it, and I'll resend it to you. I'm going to make a notation of that right now, because I will forget if I don't. And Tony, no God. Okay. You got it, Tony. I'll send you another one next week, and we'll send it registered on this one. I tell you, you can't trust anything anymore.
And I bet you, I'm betting that when they price again on stamps, they're going to probably just go to $1 this next time.
Oh, I tell you, it's just they keep raising it up and raising it up and raising it. Just, I think it's like 76 or 77 cents now.
74, I think.
74. I know it's up there.
73. I think it's 73. So, but the thing of it is, by raising the price, people use it less. And if you use less mail, you need less mail carriers. So I think the whole product of it is they say, hey, we can use the money and it will lower the total of mail we got coming through here, and thereby they won't need as many postal mail carriers and workers. So I think that's part of it too, because it kind of serves two purposes. Because I know here when the guys here retired, they didn't hire a new person to cover that. What they did was they just broke up his route and said, now you have that street, you have this street, you have that street. And so they didn't have to hire another postal guy. So.
Oh. Well, thank you, Tony. I appreciate it. It's just, it's not that I don't send it. It's a lot of times they get stolen. The damn mail service is up pits nowadays. So and all you have to do is tell me and I'll resend it. So,
well, you know, Canada's postal rate is over $1 for some time.
Is that right?
Yes. $1. Let's see, what was it? I think I had to convert it because I wanted to sell some of trade some of my Canadian stamps that were unused. And I was going to try to trade them for Canadian nickels. And I think it's $1.15 first class postage in Canada. And that's probably going to go up. $1. And, you know, they're on strike. I understand. They're still on strike. And I go, well, because, you know, some of the people in Canada, they live out in the boondocks. So I go, how are they paying their bills if the postal service is not working and they're not picking it up? How do you pay? And then how do you get your electric cut off? Do you get your water stopped? I mean, what happens? It's not the person's fault. There's just not a postal service. There's no way to pay. If they pay it, if they don't have internet and they don't pay online and all that stuff, how are they going to pay the bills? I mean, you can't make somebody have the internet if they don't really, you know. So I never have heard that. JM, he would know more about that, but I'm going, you know, he'd act like he didn't know. He didn't know what these people would do.
Well, you know what I'm going to do is I think let's go 1 through 30, and so I can write down the winner tonight, and let's do I haven't got my new gold bars in, so we'll do $2 bills, and Dean's got 7, Barbara's got 69. You're on that 69, Barbara. Let's pick a number, Nickel, and 1 through 30. And we'll see everybody pick a number. Poor JM. I haven't seen JM come in here tonight.
No, I haven't either. Was he in Sal's?
Yes, he was. I saw him in Sal's.
Well, he helps Neil Hahn with his live, which it starts at 9. And so he might be over there with him. I don't know. But he usually goes from Sal to you to Neil.
Okay. So 1 through 30, and we got, I think there's 16 in here tonight. I just looked over and see how many was here. So, you know, Barbara, I'm going to bring you one of those. I'm going to mail you one of those cards that says 69 on it, darling. Tony Erickson's got 16. Tony, we got a 15 and a 16. You can only have one of those. I guess you're going with 16, Tony? I don't know. I tell you what, my people that come and watch my stream has gone down dramatically. And Tony Erickson, 16. Okay. All right. Good. And,
well, you know, they was joking the last week, but they could be right. Maybe, but me being up here every week, that might be sending some away. But also, we now today we didn't talk about it, but I think political talk really turns people off. I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get hardly anything on mine when I do politics and stuff. It just don't. Because, it's usually 50-50. So 50% of people's okay with it because what you say they agree with. But the ones that don't want to hear it. And
Right.
so I had the same problem with that when I do. And we do kind of delve into politics a lot here. And that could be part of it.
That could be. Maybe we just shouldn't talk about politics, Talk about drones and we'll talk about other things like Barbara says talk about 69. I would like to be taught more about 69.
Barbara says because nickel brings you down. Yeah, like ELO, like ELO song.
Jacqueline Clark is woke now. Tell him. Did you hear that, Nickel?
Yeah, I've heard something about it. I still have yet to see the video of how she says it or whatever. But the problem with and the reason she had so much resistance in the WNBA is because she was white. I mean, it was. They went after her, because of that reason and over that cause. And now she seems to be saying, well, they're right. So I guess she's all right if they knock her down now and they say, well, it's because of white privilege. So it kind of surprises me she said that, but I haven't seen it yet, her saying that. But
all right. Well, I think everybody's got their number and 1 through 30 there. How about a number there, Nickel?
All right, here it comes. Oh, what is that? Oh, crap. I knew that was going to happen. I told you I had a show. I had a show on there. Let me get that off.
You think Georgia's going to beat Oregon in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think they will. Let me get rid of my screen. How do you do that? Oh, I'll put it on.
I don't know.
Oh, shoot. I'll try that one. Let's see if that works.
We got bricks.
Oh, shoot. I think I'm just going to have to tell you this time.
All right, tell us. What number?
Number 10.
Number 10. All right, let's go back up in here and see who got closest to 10.
Harold Baines. That was his number. He's in the Hall of Fame. Some people don't think he should have got there, but he was a pretty good hitter.
Beto hit number 10 right off. He's on 10. So let me go down.
Beto wins.
Beto wins. Looky there, Beto. You won. Very good.
Because I hit a brick wall. I knew this was going to happen. I told Cyclops Stacks, we did the football show. We have a football show out, and he made his predictions. I made my predictions. And I told him, I said, you watch. I set this up on there, that bracket. I said, the next time I need to go on there and use my camera, it's going to show that bracket. And that's exactly what it did. It showed that stupid bracket. So.
Oh, wow. Congratulations, there's Beto. Do you let me put my email out there. Send me your address, Beto. There you go. There's my email. Send me an email. Okay, send me your address there, Mr. Beto. I'll send you a couple of $2 bills. I'm still waiting on my gold bars come in.
I had my contest. I gave away silver, actually. Can you believe it? Because I'm stingy. Yeah, I gave away 14 silver dimes. And
wow.
Yeah, but Kenji hadn't given me his address. He said to roll it over. So I guess that means it's on account with him. Kenji won. He won the contest, and I go, of all the people, because he hates silver. He hates it. He likes this crypto stuff, and I don't have any crypto to give away. So he won. I tried to help the other contestants as much as I could. I told them, I said, do what he's doing. Do the years. Just start naming them. beat him to it because you got to guess the era, the person's song, the name of the song, all that stuff. And so he just starts off going 85, 80s, 90s, 2000. And so he gets a point. He picks about a point up.
Wow.
So I tried to tell him you got to beat him at his own game. And but he won. So, but he hates silver. So he don't really want it.
He doesn't like silver, huh? Wow.
No, he really is not that big on gold, but he thinks gold serves a purpose as a counter to crypto because he told me privately, he's never said it publicly, but privately he says he thinks all cryptos will crash to zero. He thinks they'll all go to zero. And so I think it will too. That's about the only thing me and Kenji agree on. And I said, I've been saying that. Everybody gets on me for saying that, but I said, no, I think it'll go to zero.
For people to put that kind of money into like Bitcoin, what is Bitcoin now? What, 60,000 or something like that?
50,000? Oh no, it's 100.
What?
Yes, it went over 100. It got to 106. I think it's right at 100 right now, 99,000 or 100,000.
Wow.
Because people seek. That's why they fall for those contests when the guy says, "Hey, you give me $50, I'll give you $1 million because I need that 50 to get my $1 million." Those scams out of Africa,
right?
And people still go for it because they want to get rich fast. They think this is a fast way to be rich, and so they're investing in it. And I'm telling you, the SEC is starting to get involved, and when they get their claws into it, they'll ruin it. It'll trade like silver. You won't see the $50,000 days up and the $50,000 days down. It'll be more like 100 up, 100 down. They'll ruin it like they do everything. But the government will get involved eventually. When more people get into it, they will get into it and really regulate it. And when they do, then the party days, the 1920s is over. Because
Red Crawler says that Bitcoin's 105,000 right now.
Okay, well, yeah, but the thing of it is, they're all investing. That's why you saw gold go down some for a period. Is because I think people took the money, they sold some gold because they made money on the gold, and then they took it and invested it in these cryptos because Trump said all the crap he said, which he was just trying to get votes. That's what I've been telling people. I said, he just wanted their vote. He was trying to get a vote from every community, every group that he could. I don't think he's going to do anything with it. I think it was just talk. I think he did it to get votes. And now these people are going nuts investing in it. And I think in the end, it's going to go back to 50,000 here soon. As a matter of fact, that's going to be one of my predictions on my prediction show for the new year, the 28th. I can tell you already, that's one of them, people. I'm going to predict that it's going to drop to 50,000 during 2025. So,
did you see what Red Crawler said about crypto?
How would you cash out? Oh no, that's clear. I don't know.
The government is targeting the millionaires for tax revenue, and so what they're looking at that really hard,
Yeah, so that means regulation. That means they're going to come in and really crack down and be hard asses about it, and they're going to do it. I mean, so the party day is now. If you got some and it's 100 grand, 105, you need to sell. You're up. Sell while you're up when it's high. Don't be thinking it's going to get to $1 million, because I don't think the government will allow it to ever get to $1 million. It's like they won't allow gold to get to 10,000 an ounce. They'll never allow it.
Yeah, I don't think they will either.
They didn't allow nickel to get to over 50, and they haven't allowed silver to get over 50. So
they shut the commodities down where you couldn't trade it, because of that.
And that's what they'll do. And I mean, that's what they'll do with gold. And then I think what they'll do, if gold were to head north towards, like, say, 10,000, they will shut them. They trade down on it, and then they will regulate it more. They'll say you can't own gold bullion, and they'll give you so many days probably for them to buy it from you. And of course, they never give you market value on anything. And then that's an asset they can confiscate. And why should you have it when us government people can have it?
Right. That's right.
and they steal from the people all the time through inflation and all the other policies they do. So they don't want you to ever have nothing. They don't want you to ever be up. They want to be you under their control, and they want you to be needing them. And if you're independently sound and you got, let's say, 10,000 ounces of gold, you're not ever going to need the government for anything, And so,
yep. See, that's why I like silver and gold in your hands. It's just like it's. I mean, they can't do anything about that. They can't take it away from you if they can't find it.
Well, Beto's talk about platinum. Well, platinum, it's so rare. The rhodium,
platinum's more rare than gold.
Right. So nobody has it. Nope. There's not very many. There's not a whole lot of people that's got gold and silver, but there's even fewer people that have platinum and palladium. So I don't think they worry about that. It's like platinum and palladium is kind of like Bitcoin now. There's not that many people really based on the population that's involved in it. And so that's why I think they've held off cracking down on it. But you get a few more investors in there. Like now, there's more and more getting into it. And remember, too, there's only like 2,000, 2,500 companies in the U.S. that will allow you to use Bitcoin to buy anything with it.
Right.
And there's 105,000 businesses or something in the United States. So, I mean, it's not, again, if all the companies were to accept it and it became mainstream, the government will regulate it. No, they'll regulate it to death because that's what our federal government does. They kill everything. Yeah. They kill everything. Yeah, they've killed silver. They killed silver.
They don't want you to have as something stable over what they have,
Right. They killed silver in 1980. They killed it when it got to 50. They changed all the rules. And, it sunk like a rock because they made it, because all the rule changes and trading it.
Right.
So that's what they do. They do not want, I guarantee you, that what's the guy with Trump, the smart guy, does the cars. He's foreign. What's his name?
Like Meekum or?
No, the guy that he campaigned with him. Does these cars. I never can think of his name when I need to think of it.
Oh, are we talking about campaigned with Trump?
Yeah, he owns X.
Oh, Elon.
Yeah. Musk. I couldn't think of that. I don't know why I couldn't think of Musk. Look what he was doing. He was starting to, building power, and he got X. He got that. They don't want anybody to have anything close to a monopoly. So then the government started going after him. The government went after him. So they thought he was getting too powerful. And that's what they'll do to each one of us. If they find out that, hey, this guy's got a lot of gold, we don't want him owning that much gold, they're going to come after you. They're going to find a reason to try to take it from you or make it in a way you have to sell it, because that's what they don't want individuals to do that or have that power over them.
That's like Elon Musk was looking for a silver mine to buy, and because he's so dependent on silver. And so I don't know if he ever did or not, but I know he was looking at one time. So.
Well, he needs nickel really bad.
Yeah.
I think nickel and copper is the two metals he needs the most. So, and lithium and lithium,
yeah. But did you hear about the new battery they just come out with that will take a car on one charge 3,000 miles? It's a battery, some kind of battery made from silver.
I have not heard that yet. I think China came up with a vehicle that it was gas and electric, but the electric part of it could take you, I think, 300 or 400 miles. And I understand that's supposed to be pretty good.
Look that up. Yeah. Google what I just said. Cause I was like 3,000 miles on a charge on an electric car. I'd be all over that. Now think about it. 3,000. That means you could drive from the West Coast to the East Coast and never have to stop and get fuel.
If the car don't catch on fire with you in it.
Exactly.
So, because they have a tendency to, I haven't heard of any catching on fire lately. So maybe they're getting better.
Right.
That's what I'm worried about with mowers. I think my next mower I have, my small zero turn, I think I'm going to get an electric. Well, you don't know if they're going to catch on fire. And of course, I keep them in the garage, and that's kind of close to home. If that sucker were to catch on fire during the night, I guess I'd be bye-bye. I mean, it'd be it.
Exactly.
So,
well, you know what, Nickel? I was looking at the time, and we're past 6 o'clock. And I was going to say, let's talk next week, and we'll have some more good talks. And let's shut her down. And I want to tell everybody thank you for coming tonight. And thank you, Beto. Your winnow won the GAW. So thank you very much. And we will see everybody. And
you got any idea what next show's topic is going to be?
Well, I've been I've been planning out, and all of a sudden something happens where that's why we're talking about drones tonight, because it happened this week, and I'm like, let's talk about drones, So I don't. I
kind of wanted to do a drone show myself, but I just didn't feel like I knew enough about it to do it. So since you did it and we covered pretty good, it was pretty good. I don't guess I need to do it now. So.
Yeah, because I definitely want to talk about the drones and stuff like that, what I heard. So, all right, well, everybody, I'm going to shut her down, and thank you so much for coming, and we will see you next Sunday. We'll talk some more about good stuff, and y'all take care, and thank you very much.
I'll see everybody.
See you.
Oh, look up in the sky, because you never know when them big drones are going to be falling, and you hear
That's true.
you'll be smashed. So let's watch out.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's for sure.